the change. You be the change, I be the change, and then we can change things. Things will change. Once I change what I can change is myself, my reactions, my response, how I see things, perspective. And when I do that, everything else in my life changes. So today I wanted to look at you, the person, like showing up. I wanted to look at the goal. Do you have any goals in mind? It can be goals, work goals, health goals, relationship goals. It can be any kind of goals in life. Conflict. Sometimes, unfortunately, there's conflict popping up in our lives, and then might be this other person on your mind. This other person on your mind can be anybody that you've been thinking of. It can be an old friend, it can be a new friend, it can be a colleague, it can be a love interest, it can be a husband, wife, whatever, family. And then what kind of advice would Spirit, the great, great Spirit, Father God, source of all things, consciousness, peace. All right, what is the overall message today? And the overall message here in this card world today is going to be passion and pleasure. Savor your life. Taste it, feel it, smell it, love it. Make love to life and savor your life. They're dancing, having a good time, fireplace, there's the moon, there's company, music, joy, laughter. And then I'm going to pick one of these and see if there's any questions that is popping up here. Ooh, the Empress. What is growing and evolving in my life that needs my attention? So what is growing and evolving in your life that needs your attention? Passion and pleasure. Birthing something, the Empress. Maybe a new set of goals, maybe a new way of thinking. It can be a new way of doing things. It can be a new routine. It can be a new hobby. It can be a new job. It can be a new baby. It can be a new friendship. It can be a new love interest. It can be a new anything that needs nurturing and attention to evolve. New plants, new animal, so pet. It could be anything. All right, so a person, human being, woman, man, like human being. We're so full of labels these days. Like you are Generation X or whatever it's called. You are from this geography. You are a woman or a man or it or they or something. And there's so many labels that I think that as a human being, the labels, they don't really have any emotions. The labels don't really have any way to respond. The labels, they don't really have all those things. So whatever you think is appropriate for the certain label to respond with, that's what we usually do. So this is a reminder that you are full E, perfect, just the way you are. You are everything that you ever dreamed, if you only dare to believe it. And also if you unravel and take away all the things that you are not. So this is from soul to soul. You have your mind, your body, and your soul. And so, mind space. Two of Swords, decision time, peaceful time, in your mind, logic. Sometimes logic, going with logic or the heart, thinking it through. Setting your intention, being still, quieting the mind, allowing the answer maybe to come to you, the answer that is, and sometimes it is asking us to make a decision or to make a decision because if you want to achieve something greater in your life, it takes a lot of work. And so if you're doing too many things, then you won't have the energy and the time and the focus and the attention to the one thing that you might want to most of all accomplish or go towards. So this is some kind of a decision that you are about to maybe having to make, or maybe you're already thinking about how you're gonna make it. And so listening to the heart, listening to your heart, like what would it look like if you went with that decision? What would it feed? Would it feed your ego? Or would it feed your heart, your soul, like your joy and your bliss and your contentment, your joyfulness and all that stuff? Or would it feed the ego, like I'm going to be popular, people are going to love me, they're going to see me everywhere, I'm going to get a lot of money, and then I'm going to look all fabulous and all that stuff, which is feeding the ego. So whichever one you're choosing is going to take you in one or the other direction. And it's okay. Both are okay. They're just going to be different paths. Body, the King of Cups. Loving, nurture, and having compassion with our bodies, with our physical circumstances. So taking care of and nourishing, having compassion for, like we all have things that we want to work on with our bodies, our temples. And so how you want to strengthen it. Like for me, I know with my current job, I'm trying to strengthen my back a little bit. I'm trying to strengthen my shoulders a little bit. I'm trying to strengthen these areas of my body so that I can, it can be easier for me to do the job that I'm doing at the moment. So whatever job that you have, like if you're sitting down all the time like this, then maybe you want to strengthen your chest a little bit. Maybe you want to strengthen your neck and your upper back so that you can align yourself back again so you don't get all twisted over. And if you have a job where you have to use your legs a lot, maybe you strengthen your legs a little bit more so that it's easier for you to carry yourself around doing the job that you're doing. If you want to change something that for the way it looks, then do those things. Like do what you got to do, and do it with compassion and have patience. Every time you want to change something, especially like losing weight, gaining weight, building muscle, losing fat, all that stuff. Every time you want to do that, you have to know that it's going to take a while. So you have to have patience with yourself and have compassion for the changes that you're going to go through, and enjoy the ride. Like do it anyway, because you're worth it. You're going to live in this body for the whole duration on planet Earth. And with the soul, so the Queen of Pentacles, which can sometimes be materialistic. So the materialistic, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like, will it make you happy, or do you have to now get an extra job so you can manage your payment plans? Will it make you happy, or will it like add something else to your life? Then now you have to take care of that too. So now you have extra. So nourishing the soul, like maybe the resources that you already have, like how are you using them? How are you using the resources that you already have? Are you using it to have other people look at you in a certain way, or do you do it because it makes you feel good? Like if you do it because you want other people to see you in a certain way, like you want other people to see you as being successful, as being a sharp dresser, or like looking all good, like that's okay, there's nothing wrong with it. But that's nourishing maybe a part of your ego. Whereas if you want to do it because I want to wear these clothes because it's more comfortable, it makes me feel better, I can relax more. I want to do this because I love how peaceful I get when I'm there. It brings me a lot of joy to be there, makes me feel this or that. And then this kind of, why are you doing the things that you are doing? And is it really feeding into your soul, or is it feeding into your ego, or the expectations that you think that other people might have of you? If you do the things that you think that other people might want from you, then it's draining your energy. It's usually not even correct. Like people say so many weird things, and we assume that they might want this or that, whereas they might see it from a completely different perspective anyway. So it's always good to check in, like, what do you like to do? Like, feel it. Like, do you really like being there? Does it make you feel good? Or is it like, gotta close off because I have to sit there for a long time? Like, how does it make you really feel? And start to honor those feelings. This is how you can let go of some of the layers that you have built up throughout the years. We all do that. And so the layers are going to be over who we truly are. So you are who you are at the core, and that's your soul, and your soul knows it, and you know it too. Like, you know that in the deep of your self, there is like this soul that just has this knowing, and all the layers of make-believe that you think you have to do, or think you should be doing, or should be doing, all that stuff, like chip it away. And then you can get into the essence of who you truly are, and that's where the fun begins. This is when life truly begins to be beautiful and simple and exciting and everything. And so what kind of goals do we see here? Starting something new, maybe reluctant to start something new, passion project. Perhaps you don't feel like you know enough about it. Or with the goal, maybe it involves other people. Perhaps it's wanting to be more social, getting a group of friends together, being in a group setting of some kind. Maybe you have a group setting goal where you want to get people together so you can teach them meditation, or you can teach them yoga, or you can teach them writing, or whatever it is that you want to teach them. Or maybe it's a group that like you're going to create something together that you can invite people to. Or what kind of goals? Celebrating. So sometimes those passion projects that we have, like sometimes we don't know the answers. Rarely we know the answers. We think we might know, we assume that we might know what could happen, or we hope would happen, our expectation to it. And so sometimes it's just like, start it anyway. And maybe this is something that needs your attention because it is starting to grow and evolve in your life. So perhaps you've been putting some effort into some kind of project, and this might be an encouragement to look at that again and put some extra effort and care into it. Put some extra care into it, whatever it is. Maybe you're puzzling around the house or puzzling around your home. There's something that you already always wanted to do. Like, it would be great if it looked like that. Maybe have a little color over there. Change it up with a little bit of plants in the corner, or make it a little bit more like this or that. And it's a passion thing. Like, maybe you can have that come back up so you can finish the project, or you can do things that you want to do that would make you feel better all over in your life. And also sometimes when there are things in our life with our goals, so perhaps there is something that you've been trying to do, or you've been wanting to accomplish, and then it always ends up the same way, or it always ends up in a certain way, and then you don't understand why it never turns out the way you thought it would turn out. And then perhaps there is something that you haven't yet dealt with in your shadow, like within yourself. And so and then you're going to repeat the lessons from before that you didn't deal with it. So sometimes if there's the same result that comes around and you're trying it again and it's the same result, then maybe sometimes you have to go deeper and you have to be like, okay, result, like, why am I always getting this result? Am I self-sabotaging? Am I doubting myself? Or am I putting something in my own way so that I won't be able to do it? And then you can go back and you can figure out, when did you do that? Maybe you did it because it made you feel safe at some point in time, and then it made you feel safe, so then you didn't have to do stuff that you didn't know how it was going to turn out. So now you're feeling safe, but used to make you feel safe, and now it's blocking you because you didn't deal with that incident from before. So if you go back there and you figure out what is it that you are repeating that is having the same result, now you can go back there and you can change it. You can change it, and it might take time. It can take a lot of time. It depends on the wounds. It depends on the hurt and how it felt and all that stuff. And so taking the time, having compassion, having care and kindness to ourselves when we go through things like that is going to be essential. It's always good to have that. And the conflict. Someone's trying to show up in your life as like all that and a bag of chips. And also a King of Pentacles, rigid, too materialistic. trying to show up as like the King of Cups, like you're a knight in shining armor, and taking no action, expressing to you that they might be like, oh, I am the one for you. I am everything that you need. And where's the action? No action? Okay, nobody there. So sometimes that can be a conflict, people portraying themselves to be something that they are not, and then you just have to go back in there with a choice that you're going to be making. Like, does it feed your ego or does it nourish your soul? And which one do you want? And then you go for that. And then the King of Pentacles. People who are stingy with their time, they're stingy with their money, they don't really want to share anything. They're always like kind of self-absorbed, taking all the attention to themselves, or always saving on a dime and a nickel, what's it called? Saving on anything, everything, and being very meticulous. All these energies can create a lot of conflict in our life in different ways. Or perhaps the conflict in your life is that you have different choices, different choice. There's a choice that you have to make. There are 3 different energies that is showing up in the conflict area. So there might be, perhaps you have 3 different people in your life. It can be romantic, it can be colleagues, it can be friend group, it can be in a organization setting. It can be anywhere where you are surrounded by people, and there might be someone who is trying to be like all the lovey-dovey and all caring and taking action and being all that, and they're not showing up like that. So they're kind of showing you a two-face. So be aware of those energies. And then King of Pentacles showing up as maybe bragging, big ego, very materialistic, surface focus on surface, like the surface things don't go that deep. And then you have the King of Wands, which is showing up here as a passionate, upright, good character. So they're like, out of the 3, there's one of them energies that is showing up. And so if this is like picking someone for a job, then perhaps you want to go with the King of Wands. Picking someone for a date, perhaps you want to go with the King of Wands. Picking someone for friends, like perhaps you want to go with the King of Wands and ditch the other 2 energies, because they're not showing up as honest, upright, truthful. Drama, the drama all over it. If you like drama, then go for that. If you don't like drama, then go for the King of Wands and get the passion and the compassion and all the good stuff. This other person on your mind, that could be a passionate new beginning. So the Ace of Wands is a great card. It's a passionate new project. This can be a passionate new work-related project. Perhaps you just met someone, or perhaps you know someone that you want to interact with and create something with. And this other person on your mind, if it's romantic, the Page of Wands is always a good thing. Ace of Cups in a reverse, so someone maybe with a closed heart space a little bit, which kind of we all have it also a little bit in this society that we're living in, because you're not supposed to be showing up with your heart on your sleeve, and also you're not supposed to. Well, it's inappropriate to show up all emotional out there in the social world, in the matrix. Well, you got to show up, and then you got to put your little game face on, or whatever they call it. Put your little face on and be happy and merry and polite and do all these things. So we all have kind of closed off our little heart space a little bit to protect ourselves and all that stuff. And so this person on your mind seems like they're taking their time out at the moment. They might be withdrawing a little bit into their own self so that they can get some time out. Meditation, the Four of Swords is like, get your rest, sit yourself down, quiet the mind, meditate, be quiet for a little bit, go within. And then you can also put the focus on your heart space and allow it to open, like to allow it and speak to it. Like I allow my heart space to be open, and then train it. Like when you go into new situations where you used to curl up a little bit, maybe now you expand instead. In the same situations, you just have to tell your body to do that and do it more often, and then you'll be able to leave that open heart and to then react and respond to your circumstances in a better way. So this person on your mind, whether it be a friend or romance partner or whatever, family member or whatever, they're showing up as currently in a space of meditation and all that. There's a passion and new beginning. So there is fire, there is light, there is excitement, there is adventure and all that good stuff. And then maybe just open a little bit in the heart space and be allowing all these beautiful feelings, and difficult and scary. Like feelings are great, but they can also be very scary, to me at least, when they're big feelings, like they just enormous feelings that come over us sometimes, and it's like, holy cow, I didn't know I could feel like that. Well, I don't know what to do with all this. So it can be kind of overwhelming to have all those feelings too, and it's not easy to deal with it, but it's worth trying to open up for it anyway, because I think it's the best thing that we can experience as human beings on planet Earth. To allow our emotions to feel more freely and to be more excited and in love with life and everything, and savor your life, passion and pleasure. Passion and pleasure is all in here with this, and to savor the life, go in meditation, savor it, feel it, taste it, experience it. And then Esther and Abraham Hicks says, remember that the law of attraction is a powerful law, and that it is not possible for you to find and hold a thought if your current vibrational set point is very different from that thought. You only have access to thoughts whose vibrations are somewhere in your current vibrational range. So whatever emotions you're feeling, how you're feeling, like in that vibrational range, you only have access to the thoughts that can match up to it. So if you're feeling super depressed and you're trying to think happy thoughts to feel happy, it won't really work that well. But if you feel depressed and then you find a thought that is just a little bit better than being depressed. At least I'm not depressed all the time, and that might make you feel a little bit better. And then you can lure yourself out of the track. And and then match up with the vibrational range. And Spirit is saying, clarity, aha, maybe you'll get an epiphany, like aha moment. We have all the aces almost here. I got 7 of cups. Clarity, there's going to be plenty of choices. You're going to have plenty of choices in your life in regards to people, in regards to how you feel, in regards to things that you want to do, in regards to everything in your life. You're going to have plenty of choices. And then it's like, okay, do you want to open that door over there? Then beware, there is going to be something behind it. So every action has a reaction. So when you open a door, not all of the doors are going to be pleasant for you to walk through it, which is back again to maybe checking in with the logic and the heart. And what is this choice going to feed your ego, or is going to nourish your soul? And those might be good questions to ask yourself when you're trying to make this decision, because you're going to have a lot of choices. But also the Ace of Swords is here, which can be a brand new idea too. Aha. And or just like clarity. Okay, I had all this stuff going on, and maybe I was trying to make the choice that would feed my ego. And then you have the aha epiphany, and then you're like, no, you know what? Life feels better when I feed my soul, because when you feed your soul, you feel full and you feel nourished, and you don't have that emptiness or the longing or the feeling like you don't have what you need. And so going for the ego things, they might leave you feeling empty at the end of the day. And so those can be important to distinguish when you're going to make the choice. And also it's okay to make the wrong choices too. Just make a choice, just do something, because it's going to be a lesson or a blessing anyway. And it always is a blessing, even the lesson and hindsight. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles here, which is slow and steady wins the race. So taking the time to do the things right, like planting the good seeds, making sure that you plant the good seeds that you want to keep in your life. And here we have carrots, we have tomatoes, someone planting a garden. Perhaps that is something that is growing and evolving in your life that needs your attention. Perhaps you're growing a garden. Perhaps that's a way that you can also savor your life. Like if you have, you get your hands dirty, you dig into the earth, you grow all these magnificent foods that you can grow yourself and do all that stuff, which I'm not an expert on. I do not do that at current. But those can be ways that would nourish your soul and also savor your life and do all those things. And keep you grounded and present with Mother Earth. But the goals that you have, they might need a little revision. The goals that you have, they might need some extra care to be able to put them into motion the way that you want, or to have them come into fruition, your goals. And then we have grace. So we got a wise woman of the grove, in the forest, and grace, which is beautiful. Savoring the life, growing things, being in the woods, the forest. Maybe you can grow a garden, grow something beautiful there. Maybe you have an idea, a book that you're writing on, that's what's growing. Or maybe you have an idea that you want to be more outdoors, and so now you're starting to be more outdoors, and that's growing and evolving. Your love for life outdoors, outdoorsy life, savoring the life. Life can be many things, and I think sometimes, or most of the time, it probably becomes what we make it. So make it a good one, because you deserve it. And the beautiful light in me, it honors, respects, and it loves the same beautiful light in you. And until next time, namaste.